Hello and welcome to this episode of Let's Talk About Fostering from the Polaris Community, the podcast where we answer your questions and give you real insight into the world of fostering straight from the people who live it every day. I'm your host, Faye. If you're thinking about fostering for the first time, it's important to remember it's a decision that impacts the entire family, from grown-up children who've flown the nest to grandparents and in-laws, and of course, any children that you have living at home. Today, I'm joined by foster parents Rachel and Amie from Fostering People. They are part of the same family and also both foster separately. So today, they're here to talk to us about what it's like fostering as a wider family unit, how fostering has affected their own children, and how they take care of themselves when times get tough. Can you both give me a little intro into how you started fostering? Rachel, do you want to start?
Yeah.
Because I believe you're the instigator in all of this.
I am, yeah. I first thought about fostering before I had my oldest child, and I was going through IVF at the time to have my oldest child. And I inquired about fostering, and they said, just go through your IVF first and then come back to us. And obviously, things took its course, and then 3 children later, we'd got a spare bedroom, and I was like, let's go and do this. So we went to the local authority first.
Lots of people do.
Yeah, and it wasn't for us. So then my husband, who I foster with, then went through all different agencies and found Fostering People to take us on, and that's where it started.
Amazing. And when was that?
Back in 2021, I think it was.
Made so 5 years this year.
Yeah. Or 2020. Oh, it was 6 years this year.
6 years. And then you roped Amie in.
Yeah, I did look into it a few years ago myself, but my youngest was very young, and we decided just to keep it on hold because we've got 3 older children. So when we moved, my 3 older children sort of flew the nest, went their own way slightly, so we just had my youngest Molly on her own. It was like having an only child, so obviously seeing Rachel with such a full house and obviously introduced her first child.
Yes.
Bless her. Yeah, I thought, okay, so I've got a spare bedroom, so obviously because Rachel had done really well and she's really well supported with Fostering People, we went the same route.
Let's talk about the conversations that you had with your own kids. So, Rachel, do you want to start? So, you got 3 kids at home.
Yes.
How did you broach the topic of fostering with them in the first place?
We just was open and honest with them and said, look, we're looking at doing this. This is what it entails. How do you feel about that? And they was all on board. My middle son, Ryan, who's got additional needs, he's a little bit more reserved about it and he does keep himself to himself. But he's vocal when he needs to be vocal.
Yeah.
And he puts his point across. But otherwise, they're happy. They're happy to go through it. They got on really, really well with our first child. And they're doing really well with these 2 that we've got now. So, yeah. They're really into it with us as well.
It's all right, but it's important, like for people considering fostering for the first time. Amie, you can answer this. How important is it that you do have those first conversations with your own kids?
Oh, you can't do fostering without doing it. You've got to have their full support. You have. I mean, with my daughter, Molly, who lives at home still, she's only 12, check-ins regularly and sort of speaking to her open and honestly, obviously without treading on toes or confidentiality, what she does need to know. But yeah, it's vital. If they're not on board, it will not work.
Do you think that there are benefits that you've seen for your own kids? I'll go to you, Rachel. I feel like a maestro. How has it positively affected them?
Yeah, obviously I've got 2 boys and a girl as birth children, and our first foster child was a girl, and she looks a spitting image of my daughter.
Oh, really?
They really, really could be sisters, can't they, Amy?
Absolutely.
They're absolutely identical.
It's scary, actually, yeah.
And my daughter still sees her now during school, and have conversations with her and gives her things, and we still have a really good relationship with her, and it's helped her have someone of her own kind of gender and different things that they can do makeup and they can do dances and it's really brought her to life, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's kind of given her like a sisterly bond with someone that,
and
as a
even
poor girl with 2 brothers, she was never going to get.
And even with the 2 little ones now, she'll put TikTok on and she'll do some dances with them and put the whatever it is on the television and them dancing around and doing jigsaws and all
Lovely
sorts.
stuff. Yeah. And but for you, Amy, it's a little bit different because you've got 3 grown-up kids. But has it affected them as much as it's affected Molly at home?
Not really. Obviously, when they come and visit and things, they love talking to the kids and sort of, they do really make them laugh. We've got the 2 children I've got at the moment are hilarious. But with Molly, it's definitely brought Molly out of her shell. She's quite reserved. And because there's such a big age gap between, obviously, my 3 oldest and my youngest, I think it was like having an only child. So it's been really nice because she more or less the same, that likes and dislikes are the same, dancing and jigging about and diamond art and
constantly moving around.
Absolutely. I do check in with Molly all the time to see how she is and how she's coping and things, just to keep it on track, because obviously if she's not happy, it would have a big impact.
Were there any surprises that you encountered at the start of your fostering journey? Things you didn't expect?
That change of your life, because obviously it has to run from the family, so it has to run for Molly as well.
Yeah.
That was the most challenging, I think. And also trying to balance, obviously, when I had my first child who's still living with me, the family time and sibling time and that kind of routine and sort of school runs and things, isn't it really?
Yeah.
When you first start. But obviously once that's settled in, it's like a duck to water.
Routine,
Yeah.
Is it the difference in, like, when you parent your own kids, you've got total free reign, you can do what you want when you want, you don't need permission from anybody at all, but while you're parenting these kids, you're not their legal guardian.
Absolutely, yeah.
So can you give me some examples of the red tape that you're talking about?
Hair cutting, trimmed. I had to get in touch with social workers to get in touch with mum. There's lots of different things. Obviously, the way they're dressed at the after school clubs, like I say, meeting up with siblings. The list goes on, doesn't it, really? I mean, inside the house, it's sort of not allowed in each other's bedrooms, which my daughter would just burst into my bedroom.
Yeah.
So obviously it's the knocking, the waiting, you're not to go into anybody else's personal space. That's their safe space. So just the tweaking of things like that. But like I said, once you get into it, it's sort of just snowball, and it's absolutely fine, isn't it? It just becomes every day. The support network we have is really good, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
We've got a brilliant support network, and the people we've met through fostering people and the support groups and things like that.
We've got a good...
We've got a good crowd, which
good,
you definitely need. You definitely need.
Absolutely.
That, don't you?
You foster as a kind of wider family, and I think more and more people are doing this. They hear or see a relative or an in-law or whoever doing it. Yeah, I could do that. But why is having... You've just talked about why a support network is vital, and you've got that through the staff at Fostering People, you've got that through your community of foster parents. I think there's something really important and special in the shared lived experience.
Absolutely.
No one can relate to fostering like another foster parent. And I know a lot of people say, like, if you're thinking of fostering, oh God, go and talk to some foster parents. Like, there's no better way to get into it. But you kind of got a level up on that as well, because you're fostering your friends, your family. Yeah. You ticked all the levels of dynamic, which is amazing. But what are the benefits? What is so good? And would you recommend fostering as a wider family unit to other people?
I think it's the understanding and the different perception of the issues that you get from another person that also understands you and knows kind of like where you're coming from, for me.
Yeah, because we level each other out, don't we?
Yeah.
So Rachel will find me saying something, going on moaning, and I'm like, yeah, but...
Always whinging, Rachel.
It's normally on the school
I'm
one.
like, it is, on the school one. Have you got 5 minutes? But I think I'll say, right, have you seen it from this point of view? Have you done this?
Yeah.
And we sort of talk through how it can play out and how maybe we can address it differently.
Yeah. Are you each other's voice of reason? Do you help the other see? Like, if you're in an emotional, maybe Amy's your voice of reason. That's what I'm getting? Fine.
Yeah.
But the dynamic works, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes, I'm like this with my friends. oh, well, I didn't think about it like that. And then you kind of get the answer and you calm down and it's all okay. Is that how you, but that point about knowing you really well as well, that's really important, isn't it? Because you can see the whole picture.
It is, because obviously knowing all your family and obviously my dad and my sister and all kinds of,
I think sometimes it's people can put a brave face on things and they put poker faces on them and you don't really know what's going on inside. Whereas if you know each other, you can kind of like, I think she's
something's not
struggling.
right. Yeah.
We've talked about earlier how you know, everyone gets the same treatment at home. You treat your foster kids like they're your own kids, but how do you still therefore make your child feel secure? How do you balance the two? I imagine that can be quite tricky.
With Molly being at home, I always make sure I've got time with her alone, doing what she likes to do. So we can have that conversation, she can talk to. I mean, I'm lucky we have got a really good relationship she has with me and her dad. But I think it's just making that time for all of them on their own at some point, so they feel that they can speak to you. Even if it's just walking the dogs, I'll take one of the children with me. Like I say, with Molly, I'll take her to the theatre or something. And it's the same as on holidays. I do feel guilty a lot having respite, but I do think it's important that me, Molly, and Steve, my partner, Molly's dad, have that time as well. It's nice to have that bit of a break, just to reset.
Yeah.
So you can be better. Are you just ready to sort of tackle things again?
My children at home are a little bit older than Amy's. So I've got a 17, a 16 and a nearly 15 year old at home. Jack and Ryan don't really much want that one-to-one time, but they know it's there if they need it. Whereas Chelsea May craves on it a little bit more. So I use when the children are at family time to have that family time with us five, or that one-to-one time with whichever child needs it.
What advice would you give to families just getting started on their fostering journey or considering starting the application process who have children at home, probably younger, well, any kids? You've got different age kids at home, so you can probably talk about both. Amy, what do you think about that start of the process?
Ask lots of questions. Ask lots of questions. No question is silly. Ask lots of questions. Get everybody involved as much as you can. Like I say, my three older children, Harry, Stephen and Shona, they wasn't living at home, but they were still heavily involved in the process. We still spoke to them about our intentions, what would happen. But I think, no questions too silly. I think, and make sure you have got some support if you can. If not, you will find it. When you start fostering, you will find that support. But for me, that was a massive thing to have someone to speak to if I wasn't sure.
Again, I would mirror what Amy's saying and just get them involved. Ask them their opinions. Okay, there's confidentiality around it and there's certain bits of training that they don't necessarily need to go into.
Yeah.
However, very, very good is to go through the whole process with them. As much as what you can.
Progression is quite a strange thing to talk about in fostering because progress or development isn't necessarily just a linear path, and also it can look really different sometimes for children growing up in care because their experiences have been so different. So where parents of a birth child who's had, for want of a better term, like a normal upbringing, doing all the things, doing school, trying their laces, making friends, socialise, all the way up to what? Probably uni, and then maybe up to all the kind of standard, I'm doing air quotes, like meet someone, get married, have kids. What, I know that's very traditionalist, but like that's kind of what people expect life to go like. But for children who've had perhaps a really tricky start in life, it doesn't necessarily look like that. So it's something that we talk a lot about is how do you monitor progress? What does that look like? How do you monitor, or what does progress or success look like to you as foster parents?
Sometimes it's very, very subtle.
Yeah.
Like with my first foster child, just getting her to school every day was progress.
There we go.
And she went from very small amount of attendance to 100%.
Amazing.
Then she dropped off again towards the end, but that was her own health issues that she'd got, mental health issues that she'd got. But with the two littler ones, I think the progress is much more bigger, if you know what I mean. Like when I first had them, one of them was in nappies, and he was at an age where you wouldn't expect that, and he has very quickly been able to come out of that.
Brilliant.
And now he's completely toilet trained.
So yeah, that's something that you wouldn't perhaps consider for an older child, but actually as a result of what they've been through, that's what I mean. Like you haven't hit the usual milestone. So that's amazing for that child to kind of catch up, maybe.
Yeah.
But then also important to remember that it can be very nuanced, or like attendance is a really good thing. Can you give me some other examples that it might look like? Again, if you haven't fostered before, you haven't had this experience. So what other like little things might you keep an eye out for that you know means that that young person's making changes?
Confidence was with my first child. She grew in confidence, and you could very quickly see that. From the moment that she came to the moment she left, the confidence in her just grew every single day. And it was difficult at times. Sometimes she'd shut herself off, but to know that she'd got a safe space and she could grow in that confidence. And now she's amazingly confident.
But how does it make you feel to have seen that change in her?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing because we've helped her be that person that she is now. And when she left us, I've said to her, you'll always be a part of us. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey.
Oh, you love her, don't you?
Yeah. You do. You get such strong bond with these children, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, with mine, I'm just happy that they're happy. If they go to school happy and they come and speak to me about different things, I mean, my one made a disclosure, and I was so proud that she actually could come to me and speak to me so we could deal with it.
Yeah.
One of my little ones came out of school the other day and went, Mum, because he calls me Mum, Mum, you're a princess.
Stop it. You are a princess. That's so sweet. God, see, it's tough, but it's also so beautiful.
It is really rewarding. It is. To know you've helped shape these children, hopefully into decent adults.
We hope, yeah.
We hope. We can, but like, we're trying our best, aren't we? And we do stumble along the way, but it's just a massive learning curve, isn't it? Massive.
Another of the themes that we wanted to talk a little bit about today is managing the difficult times as foster parents, because it can be very emotionally draining, difficult. It can be really sad sometimes. Rachel, can you tell us a little bit about your first foster child, just to paint us a bit of a picture, because it's a little bit of an unusual story and something that you found really difficult, but is also an important reality of foster care. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, she came to us when she was 11, straight from family. And we had her for almost 4 years, and we had 3 amazing years, no issues, nothing. She just fitted in with the family so well, and she was really part of our family. And then the last 6 to 8 months, she had started having trouble at school. She'd got onto social media, and there was issues around social media. She did come and speak to me about it, but she was very unhappy. It led to some unfortunate mental health issues that was probably bubbling along in the background anyway. And then one day she decided she didn't want to come home, and I took her to an appointment, and we come back without her. And that was hard.
Really, really, really difficult.
Yeah, that was hard. But we've repaired that relationship, and we still do speak to her. And she calls on me whenever she needs any help, and I'll still pay her phone bill.
You're too good to her. No, but you had to navigate really upsetting circumstances, and that's, I think, what's important about that story is it shows sometimes placement isn't forever, and that can be due to 100 different reasons.
Yeah, it wasn't about us at that time. It was because she wanted to go back to family, and she went back to family.
How did you cope with that? How did you feel at the time, and how did you push through what I imagine was very difficult?
It was emotional, I won't lie. Amie was my rock, as always. I think we just got through it together as a family. My support to my three, especially my daughter, was paramount to making sure that she was okay and that it wasn't any of our fault. It was just the situation that arisen from our foster child's experiences and what she wanted in life. It's just about putting your own emotions to one side and thinking, hang on, this is what she needs. This is what she needs. We need to support her through this journey and accept that that's the journey that she's taken. And it's not really to do with us, it's what she needs to do to progress in life. These children do not make it personal. It might seem personal, but you can't take it personally because they don't mean to be personal.
I had a young child placed with me. She came to me and it was just amazing from day one. She joined our family and it was like she'd always been there. But within 5 weeks, she'd been with me 5 weeks, and we said she can stop as long as she wants to. Everybody was in agreement with this at the time. And then all of a sudden I got a phone call on the Tuesday to say that she couldn't stop with us due to reasons for her being in care, and she needed to be moved on the Friday. And it was awful. It was awful. We just hadn't got time to sort of get your head around it. The young child didn't want to go at all. We didn't want her to go. So it was just navigating a lot of emotions, obviously, because I did have another foster child who I've still got with me, and my daughter, trying to navigate everybody's feelings and sort of processing why was really, really difficult.
Yeah.
But you have to do what's best for that child, or what is meant to be best for that child at the time. So obviously you do as you're told, and you sort of, and that was that. But it was horrific because she could have stayed with me easily. She could have stayed with me forever. But things change, and that's how quick they can change. I don't think people realise behind the scenes there's lots of meetings, there's lots of appointments, there's lots of communication and social workers popping in unannounced at any time. And I just couldn't sort of find that balance, so I chose to leave my employed job to become a full-time foster carer. It's definitely a lot less hassle, because obviously now I haven't got to be at work at a certain time, and I can't look at my phone for so long, even if one of the kids needs me.
Yeah.
Which I find lovely now. And obviously, luckily, because my children are all in school full time, I do get that day to sort of do the housework, sit and watch a programme.
Yeah.
What's one of them?
eat my dinner with that. It's like, can I have some of that? It's just finding that balance, and I'm lucky enough to be able to just do my fostering.
Yeah, that's nice. But also fostering could change. Circumstances could change.
Absolutely.
Just because they're in school full time now. We hope that will remain,
Yes.
but you never know what's around the
absolutely.
corner. So
absolutely, yeah. Every child's different. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, just important, like fostering looks different for every family, every
It does.
household, and it's important to remember that.
Yes.
I think that's a good
Yeah.
learning. Are there things that definitely don't help, things that you've tried and failed, or do people try and tell you what to do and that's like definitely not the right thing?
People who don't foster, or not foster carers or parents who have no sort of insight, I don't find their opinions always the best,
no.
because they're not doing it from a
They
place
don't
of
understand,
yes,
do they? They
the
don't understand
understanding.
why we
Yeah.
do what we do.
Yeah.
And why you do it in the ways you do.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of misunderstanding when you break out of the fostering space, like this stigma, like this naughty child attitude
Yes.
that people have. Like, and I imagine, what are some other examples of this? I imagine it's things like discipline or like telling children off.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not really how you go about it as
Yeah.
a foster parent.
Yeah.
What things do non-foster parents think you don't do right?
Everything.
All of it.
Most things. Yeah, most things.
It's like, why'd you put yourself through
Yeah.
this? And why can't you just say this? And why can't you just do this? And it just doesn't happen.
Just put them in the
You just
bedrooms
don't
and,
do
yeah.
this. Yeah, you
You
just don't do
you
it.
just can't
That's
do it.
not the way you deal with a child from trauma. It's not, because it's not going to help.
Interesting,
It
isn't
is interesting.
But that's a whole other conversation.
It is.
Lessons
It
we
is.
wished other people
Yeah.
learned.
Well, that's it, because they don't know the child's background. Obviously, you don't, obviously it's confidential anyway, but you don't discuss these things with other people. So they don't know where these children have come from or what they've seen, heard, been through to have a comment.
I think it's very black and white with people who don't foster. It's like, well, them just being naughty, or them just doing this to push your buttons, or them just... There's never a reason for it. It's just them doing this.
Yeah.
In isolation,
Where with people from fostering, they know that there's always a reason for that behaviour.
What is something you wish you knew, Amy, before you started fostering?
The feelings you have to actually get for these children. It's real. It's real. I love the children I've got. I don't know how to put it into words, really. They just become part of you. You need to take that on board, that these children become your life as well,
You
don't
can't
they?
learn that, can you? You
No.
can't learn that from a textbook
Is
or
that-
from a training session. You can't learn that.
Did you know that you were capable of feeling that for children that weren't your own before you started?
No.
I thought it'd be really easy
What, fostering?
to have those different emotions and be able to detach
Separate
them.
them.
You
No.
can't.
But you just love them.
Yeah.
When you've had a bad day, or when it's pouring down with rain, and my little child says, "You're a princess." Oh, thank you.
You
You're a
can't.
princess too.
Should we get that on a t-shirt? I
Yeah.
think so. I always want to put stuff on a t-shirt, and that feels like a really
Then
good...
there's other times when you go and you're like, "Oh, what are you doing here? I want somebody else."
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
They keep you on your toes for sure. You've both had some really sad fostering experiences, and we know that fostering is very, very, very difficult. You love it both, obviously, like you can tell that, but it's hard. It's emotional. It can be sad. It can be frustrating. We can use these words. These are easier to put into the situation. But even on your hardest days as a foster parent, we'll start with you, Rachel. What keeps you going? What gives you the drive to keep fostering?
The progress you make into those children, the changes you make into those children, and the love that they've probably never had.
Mic drop. Done. Great answer. Yeah, but it's as simple as that, isn't it? Yeah. And what about you?
It's just seeing them happy and safe and being able to be themselves with you. You can't beat it. You can't. Knowing, pick them up from school and they run at you, and you can't put into words.
And when you go
can't.
to their little sing-alongs and
Yes, at school.
them looking
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah, you're there for them, aren't you? And it's lovely.
You love it
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
lovely to
and then their
see.
face just lights up.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
And then at that point, you know that you are
Doing something right.
very important in their life.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is a favourite moment or a highlight, or like I always just say it to people, like the thing that makes you think this is why we do it, or a moment that just stays with you?
One of mine was when the child says they love you, and they actually mean it. You can see
Yeah.
that they really do love you, and they love being with you.
My moment was when my first foster child was going through a particularly difficult time, and she chose to open up to me and tell me exactly what she was feeling, even though her previous experiences had told her not to say anything. And she opened up to me and says, I need help.
Incredible. For anyone who's thinking about fostering at the moment, they're not quite taken their first steps, but they think it might be for them, what advice would you give to them?
Expect the unexpected.
Also, try...
You with the one-liners, Rachel.
Realise that not everything you're reading on a training course is nothing can prepare you for
Speak-
Gotta go
real
off
life.
script.
Speak to foster carers.
Yeah.
If you can, or obviously whichever company or who you're dealing with for your process.
Always get a buddy.
Always get a buddy. Ask questions. And definitely speak to a foster carer. One that's actually lived and breathed doing the job. And they will tell you the highs and the lows.
Yeah, and just be aware that the training courses that you do go through will give you a good stepping stool, but it's not the real life.
In practice is a little bit different to the paper. Yeah, amazing.
And that's highs and lows.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rachel and Amy, for sharing your experiences with us today, and to everyone for listening. We really appreciate it. Understanding how fostering affects the whole family is a really, really important consideration when taking the first steps on your foster care journey. It can be a hugely positive experience for everybody as long as it is managed and communicated properly. Agreed?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
If you'd like to find out more about fostering, please get in touch. You can find out more about the support available in your area with our agencies by checking out the links in our notes. Make sure you follow and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Let's Talk About Fostering. See you next time.